I wanted to come to you today to talk about two words, time and management. So if you go and you Google quotes on time, you can find any number of quotes. And so I did it just for grin's sake to see what I would come up with. Like this one, time is precious, spend it wisely. Yep, it really is. This one, the bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. Like that one. But I think this one was my favorite one from my search. You always have time for the things you put first. And we really want to talk about that in terms of how do we prioritize our time this semester to be successful. So why is time management important? Well, what I know for sure is time waits for no one. And if you don't use your time wisely, you'll look up 2-3 hours later and time has just escaped. So it's important that you take a handle of time, that you make sure that you're managing it accordingly so that you can get everything done in the day that you want to get done. So when you think about managing your time, think about 4 quadrants. Number 1, the first quadrant is things are urgent and they're important. Second quadrant is things are not urgent, but yet they're important. Third quadrant, things are not important, but they are urgent. And then the last quadrant, quadrant number 4, which is where we spend a lot of time wasting time, things are not urgent and they're not important. So what are some examples of things that would fall into each one of these categories? For instance, for things that are urgent and important, crises, problem solving, deadlines for projects that are right upon us. A lot of times we find ourselves in this quadrant or things in this quadrant because we failed to plan appropriately. So in that quadrant, we're firefighting all the time, trying to put out fires. It's almost like you can never seem to get it together. Quadrant number 2, this is where you kind of find your quality time. You do a lot of preventative things within this quadrant. So you recognize the importance of maybe planning. You recognize the importance of scoping out new opportunities. This is the quadrant where recreation would be important. Some people would think maybe that's not very urgent or very important, but it's falling in quadrant 2 where it's not urgent, but it is important because we want to make sure that everybody is healthy and that you're able to be able to stay in all these classes and think and do really well. Quadrant number 3, this is where we find some distractions taking place. Like we always tend to get these interruptions and with phone calls, or we get interruptions with maybe notices that are popping up unwanted. So we have a lot of distractions here. Things may be urgent, but they're not important. Some popular activities may fall in this category too. And then the dreaded quadrant 4, time wasting. This is where we find ourselves just kind of out on social media. We just perusing, and we're saying, I'm just going to do this for maybe 5 minutes. And then you look up and it's 3 hours later. So we don't want to get caught in the trap of quadrant 4 where it's time wasting, where it's not urgent and things are not important. So what are some tools you can use when you're trying to manage your time? Well, you can use a good old standby calendar, planner, paper. That's kind of low tech. Another low-tech option that you can have is actually simply figuring out what your hours look like throughout the day. When are you in class? When will you have lunch? When will you do some exercising? When will you read and prepare for classes the next day? You can divide your day in hours from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep and just go through and itemize the things that you want to be able to accomplish, being realistic. And then allot so much time to each thing based on the different quadrants that you're using. What's really important and urgent, what's not important and what's not urgent. And then that way you will have a picture to be able to look and see, what am I supposed to be doing at any given time throughout the day? So those are 2 kind of low-tech ideas for managing your time. Then the university has capability that's being provided through Canvas. And Canvas allows you to receive notices from your instructors about when things are due. And you can receive those notifications and then upload that into your your manual time management schedule that you typed up, or you can put it into your planner. Your cell phones can also be used for tracking your time. Whatever is most comfortable for you, do it. The most important thing is that you manage your time. There's two things I know for sure. People who don't plan, they are planning to fail. And then number two, time waits for no one. So we're at the start of this semester. We're getting things kicked off. Just wanted to come to you to say it's never too late to start. Even if these first couple of weeks have gone by and you don't know where your time went, you can stop right now. You can stop right now and start to do a better job of managing your time, so that once the semester is over, you can go back and account for how you spent your time. And we're hoping that all of your grades are going to be reflective of positive time well spent. So thank you. We'll see you next time.